It really sucks to be a centipede. Imagine spotting one in your bathroom at 2 o'clock in the morning. Your reaction is probably the same as almost everyone else's. You instinctively step back, reach for the nearest shoe, and start thinking about how quickly you can make it disappear. And honestly, that response is easy to understand. With dozens of legs moving in perfect synchronization, a body that seems unnaturally long, and a speed that allows it to vanish across the floor before you can even focus on it, a centipede looks less like an ordinary animal and more like something nature accidentally designed to unsettle us. But here's where things become interesting. The creature darting across your floor is likely far more frightened of you than you are of it. While most people see the centipede as the monster in the room, the centipede spends nearly every moment of its life trying to avoid monsters of its own. Birds search for it from above. Frogs wait for it among the leaves. Lizards snap it up whenever they get the chance. Even spiders can become deadly enemies. And when a centipede accidentally wanders into a human home, the most dangerous predator it encounters is often the person standing over it with a shoe in hand. That's the strange contradiction at the heart of its existence. One of the most feared creatures in the garden may actually be living one of the most stressful lives in the entire ecosystem, a life spent constantly hunting for food while simultaneously trying not to become food itself. Every day is a balance between survival and disaster, with a single mistake capable of turning the hunter into someone else's meal. So why would nature create a creature that looks like a nightmare only to force it to live like prey? And how has this many-legged survivor managed to endure for hundreds of millions of years in a world that seems determined to kill it? To understand why life is so difficult for a centipede, we first need to understand what this animal really is. And strangely enough, that is where many people get the story wrong. Because when most of us spot one, we simply see a bug, a creepy crawler, a many-legged nightmare that somehow found its way into the house. But the reality is far more fascinating than that. These arthropods belong to a group known as Chilopoda, a lineage that has been roaming the earth for more than 400 million years, long before dinosaurs appeared, long before mammals existed, long before humans ever imagined building homes, roads, or cities. Let that sink in for a moment. The little hunter darting across your basement floor comes from a family older than many of the ecosystems we recognize today. And despite what many people assume, this leggy predator is not an insect. Insects have 6 legs. A member of Chilopoda can have dozens. Some species possess fewer than 30. Others carry well over 100. Yet, regardless of the exact number, one thing remains true. Every segment of its body is designed for movement, designed for hunting, designed for survival. And that brings us to perhaps the biggest misconception of all. Most people picture the centipede as an aggressive intruder, a problem waiting to be crushed, a frightening creature whose only purpose seems to be startling whoever discovers it. But that is not its true nature. This wandering predator does not enter your home in search of people. It does not spend its nights looking for someone to attack. In reality, nearly every moment of its life revolves around 3 simple objectives: find food, avoid becoming food, and survive long enough to leave behind the next generation. That is all. No kingdom to govern, no colony to support it, no army standing at its side. It hunts alone. It survives alone. It confronts every danger alone. And perhaps that is what makes its story so remarkable. Because behind the countless legs, the intimidating appearance, and the lightning-fast movements that make people recoil in alarm, there is not a monster, there is a survivor, an ancient hunter navigating a world that has been trying to kill it for hundreds of millions of years. So what exactly makes this many-legged predator such an effective hunter? And what kind of life forces a creature like this to become so fast, so alert, and so relentless just to survive another night? To answer that question, we need to begin with the skill that built the centipede's reputation in the first place: hunting. And honestly, this is where life starts becoming unfair, because nature never gave the centipede an easy option. No pantry, no refrigerator, no emergency food reserve, no helpful neighbors, no colony sending workers out to gather supplies. If she wants breakfast, she has to hunt it. If she wants dinner, she has to hunt that too, every single day. Imagine living the rest of your life knowing that if you fail often enough, you simply stop existing. It really is a terrible arrangement. And that relentless pressure is exactly why evolution turned the centipede into one of the most effective predators hiding beneath rocks, logs, and damp leaf litter. She had no choice. Failure was never affordable. If you have ever watched a centipede move, you probably noticed something almost unnatural about it. The speed, the coordination, the way dozens of legs seem to operate as one perfectly synchronized machine. Interestingly, despite the name, most centipedes do not actually have 100 legs. Some have far fewer, others have far more. Yet somehow they manage all of them without tripping over themselves. Meanwhile, humans occasionally fall while walking on a perfectly flat sidewalk. Let that settle for a moment. But the legs are not the most remarkable part. The real weapons are hidden near the head. Over millions of years, the first pair of legs transformed into specialized structures called forcipules, venomous claws. Imagine waking up one day and discovering your arms had evolved into hypodermic needles. Nature can be weird. A cockroach wanders too close. A cricket hesitates for a second. A spider chooses the wrong path, and suddenly everything changes. The strike is explosive, precise, and brutally efficient. Venom enters the prey. Movement slows, resistance ends. The victim becomes dinner. To us, it may look cruel. To the centipede, it is rent money. Miss enough meals, and eviction comes quickly. The landlord is called starvation. And unfortunately, hunting is only half the problem. Because while the centipede is busy trying not to starve, something else is trying to eat her, constantly. Birds want to eat her, frogs want to eat her, lizards want to eat her, spiders want to eat her, small mammals want to eat her. Even other centipedes sometimes want to eat her. At a certain point, it starts feeling personal. Imagine spending your entire life at the bottom of everyone else's menu, while simultaneously trying to build your own menu. That is the centipede experience. And this brings us to perhaps the biggest misunderstanding of all. Most people think centipedes are aggressive. The truth is almost the opposite. Most centipedes want absolutely nothing to do with humans. Their ideal interaction with you is no interaction at all. You see the centipede sees you, and suddenly both parties are having a terrible day. From your perspective, a creepy, many-legged creature has appeared out of nowhere. From her perspective, a giant mammal the size of a mountain has just discovered her location. Guess who is more frightened? Not the giant. Most encounters end exactly the same way. The centipede runs. Humans often interpret this as suspicious behavior. But if something 1,000 times larger than you suddenly appeared in the room, you would probably run too. And if surviving predators, starvation, dehydration, and giant mammals were not enough, nature has one more surprise waiting: reproduction. Which sounds wonderful until you remember that this is a centipede. Nothing is ever simple. Some female centipedes become surprisingly devoted mothers. After laying eggs, she curls her body around them. She protects them. She cleans them. She guards them from fungi, parasites, and microorganisms, sometimes for weeks, often while barely feeding. Think about that. The animal most people describe as a nightmare is spending her days wrapped around a nursery, a living fortress, a mother doing everything she can to protect the next generation. After surviving predators, starvation, dehydration, and countless dangers, nature finally rewards her with children and several weeks of brand new anxiety. But even then, nature remains merciless. Many babies never reach adulthood. Predators find them. Food becomes scarce. Conditions become harsh. Disease spreads. Some die before they ever experience a second season. It sounds tragic because it is. Nature does not guarantee success. It only provides opportunities. And perhaps that is why centipedes evolved one of their most extraordinary abilities: awareness. The centipede lives in a world of vibrations, tiny footsteps, subtle movements, invisible chemical trails, faint disturbances in the soil. Every signal matters because every signal might mean food or death. She has to know the difference, and she has to know it fast. Her antennae constantly gather information. Her sensory organs continuously monitor the environment. No flashlight guides her path. No map shows the way. No GPS offers directions. Yet night after night, she navigates darkness with astonishing precision. Not because she wants to, because she has to. Being wrong even once can be a career-ending mistake. And all of those abilities raise an important question. Why does nature invest so much into a creature like this? The answer becomes obvious once you examine what she eats. Cockroaches, silverfish, crickets, termites, spiders, and countless other small animals that humans often consider pests. Which creates one of the greatest ironies in the natural world. People spend money trying to eliminate the exact creatures centipedes remove for free. No subscription, no service contract, no monthly fee, no chemical residue, no noisy machinery. Just a hunter quietly working the night shift, one cockroach at a time, one silverfish at a time, one unwanted guest at a time. No spray reaches those hidden cracks as reliably as she does. No trap patrols as continuously as she does. No exterminator works every night of the year for free. Humans spend billions of dollars every year fighting pests. The centipede has been doing the job for free for more than 400 million years. And somehow, she is still the one getting fired. Most people see a problem. The ecosystem sees pest control. Most people see a nightmare. Nature sees a solution. And perhaps that is the greatest tragedy of being a centipede. You spend your entire life helping maintain balance. You remove pests. You support ecosystems. You survive challenges that would destroy most creatures. And in return, someone usually reaches for a shoe. It really does suck to be a centipede. So what should you actually do? when you find a centipede around your home or garden? Perhaps the first thing is not to reach for a shoe, but to observe, because a centipede's presence often tells a story about the environment around it. These predators prefer damp, dark places filled with shelter and prey, beneath rocks, under logs, inside piles of leaves, within cracks where moisture remains. If you regularly find centipedes in these locations, it usually means the local ecosystem is still active and supporting plenty of small insects. The hunters are still working, the night shift is still on duty. On the other hand, if once active hiding places become dry, empty, and silent, centipedes often disappear as well. No prey, no moisture, no reason to stay. And perhaps that is the strangest thing about them. Most people see a nightmare with too many legs. Nature sees a pest controller. Most people see a problem. The ecosystem sees a solution. The centipede spends its life hunting pests, avoiding predators, and surviving impossible odds. Yet somehow it is usually the one getting evicted. It really does suck to be a centipede. So what about you? Do you still see centipedes as creepy invaders, or as ancient survivors doing an important job? Have you ever encountered one in your home or garden? Tell me about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to Insect Whispers for more fascinating stories about insects, hidden creatures, and the strange wonders of the natural world. Because a centipede is very good at staying hidden, and unfortunately, the YouTube algorithm is sometimes even better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on Insect Whispers in the next hidden story of the natural world.